Welcome to the Sports Show. For those of you who have been following me on social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, the Sports Show, or even on East London News and the London Bangla, will know that I've been promoting a great and special tournament which takes place in East London every year. Well, since its inception last year, we've been entertained and hosted the Greater Sylhet Cup, or more easily and affectionately known as the Greater Sylhet Cup. Now, we played this tournament last Sunday on the 28th of August, and you know what? I've got a special guest here with me in the studio today. This is Rashid Ali, and he's a midfielder with the current champions, Osmaninagar, who won the tournament again for the second consecutive year. They were previously, in 2015, they were known as Balagunj and Osmaninagar. We will discuss that during the course of the show today as well. And we've got a lot to jam-pack and pack into the show here today. Rashid, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me, Imdad.
Your sentiments on winning this? First of all, congratulations on winning such a magnificent achievement.
Thank you very much. To be honest, the feeling, the excitement is still sinking in. It's still unbelievable what we achieved this year, last Sunday. To win it last year, the first time this tournament organised by Rashid Ali, which I must say, which is an excellent idea, the concept behind it. It was a massive achievement for us to win it. To win it again, back to back, it's just unbelievable. I think one of my players put it into words. Last year we wrote history. This year we rewrote history. So from my point of view, for all of Balagunjis, it's a very proud moment, and we're over the moon, and words cannot describe the feeling we're having. It's still sinking in, and I think it'll take some time to get over the success we had in back-to-back in this championship or this tournament.
One of the striking aspects of this tournament is, obviously, when Sonali announced the tournament 5-6 months ago, and everybody's doing their own analysis, discussions, banter, writing articles about it, etc. This year, I know the team Osmaninagar and Balagunj as teams, they kept low profiles as well, but they weren't on the radar, even though you were holders, 2015 holders, and you pretty much had the same set of players, which we will discuss further on as well. People had other favourites, they were talking about Jagannathpur. I myself had Jagannathpur as favourites, They had a strong team, good management, and they pumped in a lot of money. And other people were talking about Bishwanath and all that. People were talking about Biani Bazar as well, which I tried to lay low as much as possible. But do you think that helped you?
I think what it is, the problem we had this year wasn't that we were prepared. We tried to keep the same team under one name as Balagunj and Osmaninagar. But obviously we had to follow the rules and guidelines of the organisers. So we had to obviously look at two teams. But what we wanted to do is keep the management under the same name and have two teams. I think we focused on that more than anything else. But we still, we knew we had the faith and we had the same squad in Osmaninagar. And Balagunj obviously had recruited more players. We knew back in the mind, we wanted to prove a point that last year was not a fluke. And we knew, but we thought, it's on the day. It's who performs, it's who gives the passion, the drive, the 100% on the day. We have all been playing football for our own local teams for over 20, 25 years, most of us, all the players. So we knew it's not about the off the pitch, it's on the pitch that matters. And we knew we wanted to prove a point to all the other tanners, all the other footballing teams, that last year was not a fluke, it was not one-off. We were the winners, and we can do it again. So it's just a matter of on the day, we had to make sure that we were more prepared and gave 100% and try and be successful, which we did.
Do you personally think that people not talking about you as a favourites was an advantage?
I think it was, because obviously we kept a low profile. We just about managed to get new kits, and there was a few financial strains this year, which luckily we've managed to overcome. And other teams obviously had the backing of finances or other support, but sometimes it's good to be on a low profile, so the expectation is low, and obviously we knew that if the expectation is low, then maybe on the day we can prove a point, and that actually gave us the momentum to say, let's show them what we're made of, and we can do it again and give 100%. We never know, because to be honest, it's in a football match, with my experience with all our players within the team, we've been around the block. We're all vets. We've been played for a lot of teams. A lot of my players play for Beaumont, for Mohammedan, PIO, Bromley Balboa, Saya. These are all experienced players. All my players are playing in the Vets League, the 7-a-side Vets League. So we knew deep down that we've got the experience, we've got the quality. It's on the day who performs and gives 100% will be more successful.
And as they say, success breeds success. Yeah. On that basis, with you being twice winners, historic twice winners of this trophy, has it brought about any change in your financial situations for, say, next year?
It has. To be honest, we're still searching out to all those Osmaninagar business people, supporters, in the quarterfinal, two of the individuals came forward to us and they said, look, we are from the same Tana. We would like to support you and sponsor you for next year, get you kits and support you other means, so which was really nice. So hopefully, as the tournament grows each year, we'll get more people, more funding, more support, and hopefully we will be more financially stable. I think we discussed this earlier on. A lot of the Tanas or Upajalas, a lot of people are coming forward and supporting, which is a good thing. So financially, hopefully, everyone is comfortable and we can do other good deeds with those money and with those finances backing.
And in terms of your celebrations, how did they go on Sunday?
Well, basically, obviously, we didn't plan nothing. We are in progress at this moment of time. We're planning to do a get-together next Sunday, subject to, obviously, venue availability. So hopefully, by end of this week, we will confirm a venue for get-together. We will invite the organisers, all the other Tanas and other guests, family, friends, and have a little meal, get together and celebrate properly. Because last year, to be honest, we didn't celebrate that much. This year, to win it twice, a historic moment for us, and we will celebrate and we will contact everyone and invite everyone, and hopefully, inshallah, next week or Sunday we'll try to celebrate properly and let all the Balagunjis and Osmaninagar be proud of us.
Well, don't be surprised if I gate crashed that one as well. I'm sure it'll be a spectacular party there, Rash.
Hopefully, yeah. Definitely you'll be invited, and all the other towns will be invited.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, when we look at it, yes, we're different teams, representing different Upazila, but we're from the same country. We're all from Bangladesh. So we want to celebrate with all our brothers from all the Tanas from Bangladesh itself.
And therein you made a very important point. Some people, even speaking to me on an individual basis, obviously I'm not going to name them, but they brought up some, maybe some people will consider to be relevant points when they've said that, you know what, we shouldn't participate in a Greater Sylhet Cup because it promotes division. I wholeheartedly disagreed with them, and I think I put arguments forward to back my claim in an intelligent way as well. What's your thoughts?
I totally agree with you, because I don't think it creates division. To be honest, for me, I've been part of Bowman for the last 14 years. I was part of New York for the previous 9 years. In that time, I've been playing against a lot of teams, likes of Bromleys, Mohammedans, Shadwells, etc. This tournament has given the opportunity for me to know the players I've been having rivalry with or playing against are actually from the same place back home. We're actually neighbours with the same village, etc. So I think it's connected with other people and players within the same community back home. And not only that, we found out where my players playing for other Tanas. So I think it's the opposite. I think it's brought a bit more unity to a lot of people representing back home, and we promote back home. At the end of the day, we don't get a chance being in this country to promote Bangladesh or where we're from. I think this tournament has given us the opportunity to get our brothers from the same village, from Tana, to get together and play as a one. And I think it's creating more unity rather than division.
Totally, very important point. I think it's very important for us to know our roots and where we came from in order to better go forward to where we're heading for and where we're going.
And I think that's a plus point with this tournament, because at the end of the day, our next generation, my kids or my younger brothers, sisters, they should know where we're from and who's our neighbours and where we come from. We have to keep our country alive, because obviously as time goes by, we tend to forget back home where we're from, our roots. And I think this tournament reminds us our roots, our neighbours, our people back home, and I think it's an excellent idea.
Rash, what's the key behind your winning mentality?
I think for us, I think because we've had established players. If you look at some of the players I'll mention, Iftikhar, Rashid from Mohammedan, Shajad from New York, they actually played at a high level in terms of semi-professionals. Other players like Nashir, Kobir, Shumon, Ripon, Russell, they're actually established players in their own teams, be it Stepney, be it Bowman, be it Bromley. So, and they play regularly in the 7 side. The Vets League we've been running for ILF's been running, which Nalati for the last 4 years. So we knew we got the experience, we knew we got the quality. It's just a matter of on the day. Football's a funny game, so unless you perform on the day, obviously you can't foresee anything. So we knew we had the quality, we knew we had the strength. It's just a matter on the day, performing, getting the results, or getting those crucial moments, making sure you're successful. So behind the scene, we were comfortable, we were confident. It wasn't a fluke last year, and the remarkable thing is the same 8 players actually played the semi-final, quarter-final, semi-final, final as last year.
So I know we don't believe in omens and things along them sides, but there are some quite interesting facts which we were talking about before. Yeah. So you had the same 8 in the starting lineup for Osmaninagar this year from last year. So 2015, Balagunj Osmaninagar, 2016, Osmaninagar, the same 8 players started.
Coincidentally, when we did divide the team, the same players from last year happened to be from Osmaninagar. Yes, with the squad players, two of our players, Sham and Hokbai, were from Balagunj, so obviously they switched to Balagunj team. But with the majority of the other players were actually from Osmaninagar. So for us, there wasn't a major change. We did recruit a few new players, like Tariq, Shipon, Bodrul, with their new faces. They came into the team, so we added a bit more depth. But to be honest, those 8 that started were the strongest. And the same as last year. We didn't get any new strong players. Hopefully going forward, we will need to do that. We will need to get, to be honest, our team is aging. Majority of them are 43, 44. So hopefully next year we're looking to recruit younger vets, so to speak, 35, 36-year-olds, who can compete and get into the main 8 team or the squad itself, and hopefully be stronger next season.
Rashid by himself, he was injured last year, 2015, if I remember correctly.
Same way.
Same.
And the same player came off the bench, Kobe to replace Shazan, and Kobe came on. It's unbelievable the way things happen. The same team we played in the final, Molly Bazaar, and the same result, we won 1-0. It's just unbelievable. And the best thing about it is my in-laws are from Molly Bazaar, so that was a great satisfaction for me.
Oh, fantastic.
Just to add.
I'm sure it was a win-win situation, whichever way you look at it.
Exactly, yeah. So that was brilliant to beat Molly Bazaar in the final twice. And I know Nurubai very well. I must say, you know what, they were one of the worthy finalists. They played really well. I think their team was, better than last season. But it's all on the day, and we got the 1 goal. In these tournaments, 1 goal makes a difference. Once you got to score the first goal, it's very hard to obviously break down the opposition. They have to come out and you sit back. And credit to Mahmoud, who's our team manager, to win it twice. The pressure was on him because obviously everyone looked at him and said, you won it last year, and he felt the pressure. He said, look, I have to at least get us to the final. Minimum requirement was to get the final, otherwise people might not give him the credit. So credit to Mahmoud, credit to the senior management, Nashib Bai, Shazan, Ripon, and Kabir, who overseen things, and also Nurul and Hokbai, because we had 2 teams, but we overseen both teams. So credit to the management and Mahmoud for being so successful in retaining and winning back-to-back.
Would you ever consider going back home to Sylhet and playing back home Osmaninagar?
Funny you should say that. I did discuss that even last year. So guys, wouldn't it be a brilliant idea for the Balagur or Osmaninagar team to go back home and play against our own team back home? It's an idea that we discussed. Obviously, we need to look at the logistics, the finances, the practicality, and that would be a fantastic idea. We did discuss it, but obviously we haven't gone too in depth. Hopefully, going forward, that will be, for me, a very more prestigious and honourable idea to go back home as champions to play against our own team at home. You can't get any better than that.
That would set an amazing benchmark, wouldn't it? Then other teams could also you could have Maulvi Bazaar going back and playing against their own. Biani Bazaar
why just one? Why can't we 3 or 4 teams, the Biani Bazaar, Maulvi Bazaar, Osmaninagar, go there and play in a one-day tournament? The way we'll promote is we haven't forgotten our roots. We'll promote Bangladesh. We'll promote our Sylhet, the town itself, and it will promote football and sports activities back home. I think it's an idea that we all should, not as one Tana, but all together look at the idea. I think that's an idea we can be achievable, and I think it'll be a win-win for all, for players in this country and for back home, because obviously we'll have that connectivity which we don't have at the moment in time, because we all have our own families individually, but as a group, all these 4 or 5 teams get together, go back home. I think it'll be brilliant.
Rash, you and I know that approximately £60,000, that's an approximate figure, was spent by every single team in preparation and participation during the Greater Sylhet Cup as well. Do you think, as some would argue, that this is taking away money from younger teams or youth football, or do you think that this is something that is necessary or would have happened in this manner anyway, but on that basis we can use the success, the profile and the wealth generated from this tournament and make sure that it filters through? What's your opinion on this?
I think what it is, I'm actually glad and happy the way things have developed. When you launch a product or a new concept or new idea, you need to make sure that it reaches a wider audience, it's successful, the brand is big, and it goes to a wider audience. The fact that a lot of funds have been coming on, teams been able to buy new kits, buy banners, buy merchandise, etc. It's all promotion. So hopefully in the coming years, teams with the finances they've got from the business people or supporters, they can actually spend on other products. One of the ideas I went to a couple of weeks back for Jagannath, they had a launch of a kit. A lot of people were saying, how come to the long kit? I thought it was a brilliant idea, because one of the things they discuss, which I think every team should do, they're looking at how to do things back home. For their villages, for the kids, the sports facilities, can they provide? Through the means of football, they were actually looking at doing things back home, which I thought was brilliant. me as Osmaninagar, I would feel like I should be doing the same thing. As Bani Bazar, Moli Bazar, we should all be thinking, now that we've established a team, we are financially comfortable, let's try to do things, not just for the youth in this country, let's do things back home. So, again, keep that connection with our root, with our country itself.
And Sanabai did a really good presentation, didn't he?
When
he was talking about, and what it is, I think most of us, we took it, and this is the beauty of it again. People say, oh, division in Greater Sylhet Cup, but what we did, we had a market leader like Sanabai there, who's one of our elders, and he's one of our most iconic football players there, giving a presentation, and then people like the likes of yourself and myself, we're bouncing off ideas because of the tremendous presentation he gave there. We're bouncing off ideas and we're thinking, you know what, he's actually made a vital and crucial point. This is maybe a point that a lot of teams have missed out on.
Yes.
What we could now do is use the basis of our success and our participation and the interest. I think the key thing is the interest generated to do some good where there is a need for good to be done.
Yeah, that's why I was quite happy to hear that speech from Sanabai, because in that event, you saw other association, other welfare groups coming and saying, you know what, we're supposed to do all these good deeds back home, but you as a football team are doing it. So they felt, slightly embarrassed or proud that we as footballers are doing things for back home, which is a good thing. I think all the other Tanas or Pajalas need to grasp the idea and say, look, let's go and do something better for our culture, our country, our countrymen, and our brothers back home, not just this country, back home as well. I think it's a brilliant idea. So hopefully, all the Tanas out there, please also consider doing things for back home and giving back to the community and to back home itself.
On that basis, I do want to share something with you, Rash. I mean, Biani Bazar, I know I do go on a bit more, being their player manager as well. What we did was we had a unique concept this year, whereby instead of getting a sponsor on board, what we had was we had a charity partner. So we used the Barcelona method, you could say.
Yes, I saw
and
that,
for me, it was very prestigious for me, and it was an absolute honor for me to have Biani Bazar Cancer Hospital on there. I thank them for the support. But what we've done is over the course, what we will do is obviously in the next week or so, our chairman, Mesbah Ahmed, is back now from Bangladesh. What we will do is in the course of the next week or so, we will plan some initiatives as a team. So it could be a mountain climbing. We might play a mountain climbing hike. We might play a friendly game against Osmaninagar, to generate some income for the. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think other teams should do this as well?
I think it's a brilliant idea. It's good for charity. It's good for other people. I think not just that idea. We should look at other means of initiatives to go forward, because obviously it's grown. It's got the interest. It's got the passion. Because I've saw a lot of people on Sunday that were not in the scene of football. They're back in now. I've saw a lot of people, a lot of business people, families, elderly people that didn't have nothing to do with football. Now this tournament has raised the profile. We should take advantage. We should do more as initiatives like that and develop more ideas in this country and back home and for charities. And I think it's brilliant what you just said. And hopefully we all should get together again as managers from each Tana and say, let's work together and do great projects which will benefit everyone, not just in UK, in back home, and for other charities as well.
Controversial one now. I want you to give me a straight answer, Rash. Should you play for your Tana, or is it okay for you to go on hire to other Tanas? And does your Tana mean where your dad is from?
For me, you have to play for your Tana, full stop. There's no two ways about it. For me, if I managed to just about get into the squad because there was a space available. If I didn't play for Osmaninagar, then I would not go and play for any other Tana. Look for clauses or routes or through in-laws, through your Nanabari, etc. I would want to play for Osmaninagar. If not, I would come and support. I would not like the fact that if players chose different routes to play for Tana, that defeats the purpose. It's about playing for your Tana, representing your Tana, and that's how it should be. I strongly believe that's how it should be. I know the organisers had that rule last year. Either you're born or your dad's born from that Tana, you should be representing, and that's how it should be. There should be no clauses or different routes to allow certain people to change sides, which I think defeats the purpose, because it takes away that little originality, and it defeats the purpose. For me, I'm Osmaninagar, and that's it, I'm Osmaninagar. Although even I was as Balagwanji, I'm under the new borderline, I fall under Osmaninagar. So if I can't play for my own team, I should come and support. I should not look for different routes and play. That I would stress to the organisers, keep that approach as it is. Play for your Tana or come and support. Don't try and find different routes. It's not cheating, but I think it's just a clause or routes looking to go into other teams, which I'm totally against.
You've got to say, hand it to Sonali Otit. I mean, Babul Bhai, Farooq Bhai, Arman Bhai, and all the other brothers there as
Yeah.
well. They have just done a fantastic job.
Brilliant. Hats off to them. Obviously, last year we knew as soon as the buzz was there, people talking about it, getting new kids, banners, etc. It's a complete different concept, and the idea and finding out your neighbours and people from your country, and now that you find out the players you played all your life with, all of a sudden your rivalries on that day, I think was brilliant. I think the banter, the jokes, it's extremely. As one thing I would say to all the players, all the Upajilas, Thanas, keep the politics out. Keep the banter into a certain level. Let's not push or go over the borderline, so to speak, and be disrespectful or make distasteful comments. Keep it within ourselves, keep the jokes, promote the tournament, have the rivalry on the pitch, off the pitch. We're all friends, we know each other, because I played the players that I played all my life, 20 years with, now in the opposition team for a different Thana. We can have a little joke, little banter, but as long as we keep the banter within joke level, I think that is something I would stress to all the viewers, all the players out there. Keep the, but the idea itself is brilliant, and I can see it growing, to be honest, and getting bigger.
Sonali Otita already planning a district cup very shortly. Do you think, I mean, the concept of an Upazila tournament, I mean, there's a lot of football we play generally as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Obviously, we'll have to look at the boundaries, the rules, regulation, and obviously look at the flexibility of players in other districts. So, because we all, majority I know our players are from Sylhet, so that's a different concept itself. But again, even though until you try it, you'll never know. And obviously, last year we saw this idea, how successful it is. Obviously, this year is growing and next year will grow. Other ideas come into, we can try and see how it goes. And obviously, if it's successful, we'll progress and get bigger and better.
Rash, can I shake your hands?
Brilliant. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Good energy from a champion running off, hopefully rubbing off onto me as well. Congratulations on that as well. Well, there you have it. Greater Sylhet Championship winner Rashid Ali joining us in the studio only 2 days after winning the tournament. He did not get to sleep with that trophy that you see sitting in front of us now. That was that right was solely reserved for Ripon Bhai himself. I have the pictures to prove it as well. I would like to take this opportunity to win Mamun Chowdhury, to, should we say, congratulate Mamun Chowdhury and Osmaninagar on a wonderful triumph. Yes, they have. They wrote history last year as Balagunj Osmaninagar. They rewrote it again as a standalone team as well. Thanks for watching the sports show. Stay safe, and we will see you back soon.